Tub 6. Alright, so here we have an Atari 2600 Junior system. This actually came out when the NES, Nintendo Entertainment System, was becoming really popular. Atari actually released the 7800 and re-released the Atari 2600 Junior, which is what this is. It's just a standard 2600. It cost about $50 when it came out. You know, it has some options. That's where you put your cartridge. You can plug your joysticks and things in here. Nobody bought it, though, because everybody already owned an Atari 2600. Everybody had one in their closet, and you could get one from a friend for a few bucks, so nobody wanted this dumb thing. But overall, today, you know, if you were going to play 2600 games, this is a very small unit and, you know, can fit by an old TV, you know, really nicely. So, you know, if you want to go back and play Atari 2600 games, this is pretty ideal. Here we have an Atari 5200 switch box. You would actually connect this to the TV, and the antenna would either connect here with the two screws, or this would be like the cable adapter. The crazy thing, though, about the Atari 5200 antenna switch box, which is different from other ones, is that you would actually power the system itself here. You would plug in this behind the TV, and then this cord would actually run the electricity out to the Atari 5200. Big spark when you plug this in. Bam! Probably not safe, but that's just how it was back then. Here we have an Atari, an Intellivision catalog showing all the games and things that came out for the Intellivision. You know, this is how they would usually do it. They would give you one of these whenever you bought a game. It would just be in with the game cartridge. You know, so maybe you would go out and buy other stuff and everything. It was just like a little catalog. There's the Activision catalog for Activision games that came out for the Atari 2600, as well as they had a couple of Intellivision games here, Pitfall, Stampede for the Intellivision, and a bunch of patches. You could actually join their little clubs and earn patches by basically buying games. So that's Activision. Yes, the same Activision that's still around today, but it's the game manual for the game Berserk for the Atari 5200. That's a Qbert manual for the Atari 5200. Interstate 76 for the PC, great game. Manual. Atari 5200 manual for Pac-Man. A lot of this stuff's going to be beat up because that's just how they sent it to me. You would buy it for like $1 or something, and then, you know, it'd be all kind of beat up. But whatever. There's the, that's the Atari 5200 cartridge. Let me grab that. Right there. Big cartridge. I also have the Galaxian cartridge. I'll actually show you this in comparison to a 2600 cartridge so you get an idea of the 5200. I don't have the 5200 in this tub. It's actually really big, so it goes in one of the really large tubs. But when I do, I will show you just how massive the thing was versus the 2600. There's the 5200 game box. It's totally beat up, water damaged for Galaxian. That's actually the system there itself, but with that picture, it looks like it's average size. But when you see it, it's really big. Makes the Junior look like really small. There's Pac-Man, also beat up. I should put the Pac-Man cartridge in here with the manual. I probably will do that. Here is a bottle for O-Cage, the Shadow King, for the PlayStation 2. This was a teaser mailing from Sony PR. It has a bottle cap, and inside is a like a scroll type of thing, probably just PR mailing in there. I've never opened it because that's a screw cap. So yeah, I just kept it. There you go. I don't think I've even played O-Cage, so I don't know. Atari 5200 power brick, big heavy thing. Use that to power the unit. Then we got the one beat up Atari 2600 joystick, no sleeve. One regular Atari 2600 joystick with the rubber sleeve and the single fire button. These units would actually, people would actually be creative with the fact that it only had one fire button. They would make it so if you hold it down, it would do something different. Double tap it, do something else. You know, very clever. You know, if you wanted to jump in most games, you didn't use the button, you just pushed up. Just push up, guy would jump. That's usually how it went. Then we have the paddle controllers. The Atari 2600 originally, when it first came out, came with 2 joysticks, 2 paddle controllers, and a game called Combat. And paddle controllers always came in pairs because they only plugged in to one port. These wires are actually connected, but I'm not going to pull all that out right now. They also sold racing controllers that look just like these, and the big difference between a paddle controller, there's a serve button right here, and a racing controller is that this spins, and if you can hear that, it stops when you're spinning it around. It only goes so far, where a racing paddle would actually spin all the way around in either direction. They don't actually sell those. I don't know why they couldn't just put a switch on the side, but you know how it is, it's marketing. Back then, simple things like this would be marketed that way. This is a Sears Video Arcade 2. This is actually a clone of the Atari 2800. The Atari 2800 was later released in Japan, very limited. Don't even know if it actually ever hit stores. It's very difficult to find one. This was released by Sears as well. It just played Atari 2600 games. It just had a more advanced sort of option to pick things. They just called it the 2800 in Japan. There was nothing really unique about it. They did sell games under the 2800 name, but they were just 2600 games as far as I understand it. Overall, though, this was actually a high quality unit, and you can find them in the wild. People wanted to get something a little bit nicer in their living room and stuff like that to play games on without a bunch of switch toggles and all this kind of stuff. You would get the Sears Video Arcade 2. What else we got here? I'm looking, see what we got. Got the limited 90-day warranty for the Intellivision. That's useless. Here we have the Carnival game manual for the ColecoVision, I believe. I think it's Coleco. You also had Donkey Kong. That's for ColecoVision. This predates any Nintendo game system in the United States, so they actually came out with a version of Donkey Kong for Coleco. And Venture, also for ColecoVision. Also a very popular game. And again, I'll show you these consoles in later tubs. I have all of them. There's another Intellivision manual. I'll hold on to that. Here's a photocopied version of the Missile Command manual. I'm not sure what the story is with this. Maybe I bought it from somebody and they kept the original manual and then sent me a photocopy. I don't know. I think I'm just going to throw it out because it's not worth anything like this. And, you know, I know how to play Missile Command. Here's an Atari 2600 Centipede box, or 5200, excuse me. Beat up. Just like all my 5200 stuff. I don't know. Here is a Atari 7800 Pro system. This came out, again, same time the Atari Junior did. Now you'll look at this and you'll say, boy, that kind of looks like the Sears Video Arcade 2 that you had, except now it's got the silver stripe. It does kind of look like that. This was actually a fairly powerful system. For the time, you know, for when the Nintendo Entertainment System and stuff came out. The problem was Atari basically no longer really released their own arcade games, so they had a questionable batch of games that they wanted to sell along with it. It would play the original 2600 games. It didn't play 5200, and it had a pretty cool controller depending on which country you lived in. They had pads like Nintendo had the pads in certain countries like Australia, and then they had regular joysticks in the United States. Overall, though, there were a lot of games and a lot of PC port type games that came out for this system, and today there's actually still games made for it in user groups and clubs, because like everything, stuff never dies. But that's the Atari 7800. I'll show you the controllers once I take them out. Actually, we're running out of time, so I'm going to stop this one, and we're going to pick up with Tub 6 Part 2 in the next video. And I got a whole bunch more in here, so check it out.